they are sitting there, they got some bald spots developing on their head. They keep scratching their heads going, what the hell's Trump doing? We're trying to figure him out.
You may say nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah. They're going, is he really this crazy? And I'm going, yeah, actually he is. We watched, today I was announcing, I said, hey, as we started a meeting, I was with a group of, senior level, Russian officials. And I said, hey guys, I got some breaking news. Remember Donald Trump had said that all that Jeffrey Epstein was crap and it was Democratic hoax? Well, now he said, yeah, let's release those files. We got to get those out there.
Yeah, he accepting that he was defeated by Thomas Massie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he keeps trashing Massie, Ron Paul, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, my friend Alistair Crook, who you've interviewed, and I'm here with Alistair and his beautiful wife, Aisling. The reality is, Alistair said, Trump doesn't read intelligence. And I corrected him. I said, oh, Alistair, you're wrong. He doesn't read anything but polls. He reads polls. And he read the polls and realized, we got a problem here. We better reverse course and just 180 degrees. Yeah, let's release those files. Let's get those out there. What does that tell you?
Yeah. It's amazing, Larry, what's going on with Donald Trump. And he has, Larry, I know that you follow him. Here is what he said about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he said that she's a traitor to the Republican Party. And what has happened in the aftermath? I don't know if you saw the interview that Taylor Greene had on CNN. She's talking about.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, here is what she said, Larry.
The reason that you have been critical of him is not necessarily Epstein, but because he pushed you not to run for the Senate or for governor in Georgia. How and when did he do that?
Well, that is absolutely not true. Actually, I never had a conversation at all with the president about running for Senate or running for Georgia. And those were decisions I came to on my own, that I don't want to have anything to do with the Senate. I think the past 2 months of the government shutdown should have shown America exactly why I would never want to be there. I think it's a very broken institution that serves the uniparty and doesn't serve the American people and how they vote. And I decided that I didn't want to run for governor this cycle either. I very much want to do the job that I'm in. Everyone else says I'm running for something, but all I want to do is serve Georgia's 14th district. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
So he said it pretty explicitly. Are you saying he's lying, or did he at least get?
He's lying. Why? He's lying.
Larry, looking at Donald Trump today and the way that he's attacking, today I talked with Paul Carrick-Roberts. He doesn't understand what's going on with Donald Trump. He says something, it's so strange looking at Donald Trump attacking these people who were just a little bit of 2023. If you remember, in 2023, the only person who was supporting Donald Trump, he was trying to call, during a heated vote for Speaker of the House, and Donald Trump was calling all these Republicans. No one was answering. No one, was taking his call.
Yeah.
Here is Marjorie Taylor Greene. In those
if you look close at that phone, it says DT at the top. That would be Donald Trump. She's trying to hand the phone there to Matt Rosendale, one of the holdouts from Montana. He didn't want to take the call because he didn't want the pressure from Donald Trump. Listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene describing her big role here.
He yelled at me on the House floor, telling me, don't you ever do this. I was so surprised I couldn't understand. And I was holding out my phone saying, "It's President Trump. He wants to speak with you." You know, President Trump endorsed, I think, all 20. He had talked to them, multiple of the 20 during the course of the week, urging them to vote for Kevin McCarthy for.
Yeah. And here is what
Yeah.
Donald Trump just said about Taylor Greene.
Life could be in danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Healthcare. Are you?
Yeah. Just trashing these people who were
Yeah.
supporting him.
Hey, okay, I shouldn't say this on television. He is despicable. I mean, you know, this kind of juvenile behavior on his part, he is graceless. He is not loyal. You know, all he had to say was, you know what? Marjorie's entitled to her opinion, and I was happy to endorse her. Take the high road, brother. Act like an adult. This guy is incapable of acting like an adult. He's acting like some juvenile bully. And God, I'm sick of it. I am frankly tired of it. You know, there's no excuse for that kind of narcissistic, thin-skinned behavior to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, Rand Paul. You know, because what he's learning, he's losing his base. The base is saying, nah, we're not taking that anymore. We're not putting up with that. You know, you're not God. You know, you may sit on a golden toilet, but that doesn't matter that what comes out of your rear end is gold, anything but. And, you know, it's disgraceful. This is unbecoming of a president. And frankly, I think that's why today we saw a reverse. He realized, you know, he may not read the intelligence briefs, but by God, he can read polls. And the polls are saying, you're in trouble. And all of a sudden today, hey, let's release all those Epstein files. Good God, man. You know, it's 11 March. 8 months ago, you could have said that. 8 months ago. Now, 8 months later, he's saying release him because he knows he's in trouble if he doesn't release him.
Larry, it doesn't seem to me that they have that much of Donald Trump in these files, because if they had it during the Russiagate, they would release all those files against him. You know,
Right.
It seems that Donald Trump is under pressure from maybe Israel. That's why he's just resisting this sort of pressure coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene and, you know, Thomas Massey and these people who want these files out. But what is the end game for Donald Trump? What is the main reason of him resisting the releasing of these files?
So this is a combination of Susie Wiles, who's been handmaiden of Bibi Netanyahu, and the fact that Trump can read the polls. You know, I believe he was briefed sometime in January, maybe early February. Look, Mr. President, if you release these polls, it's going to really reflect badly on the CIA and Mossad's intelligence service. We need to keep all this under wraps, because Jeffrey Epstein was being used as an intelligence asset to compromise key politicians, both Democrats and Republicans. Need to keep this under wraps. So Trump started, yeah, there's nothing to see here. This is a Democrat hoax. Okay, he tried that for 8 months. Ain't working. The murder of Charlie Kirk by what appears to be people implicated in association with Israel, with the Zionists, has compelled him to finally do what Annalena Baerbock calls a 360, which is a circle. This is a 180. Volte-face, about face. So Donald Trump did volte-face today Yeah, hey, you Republicans, what the hell's the matter with you? Release these files. Go, dude, have you been listening to yourself for the last 8 months? You're saying there's nothing to see here. Move along. Now it's like, yeah, let's get those out there. Let's publish that information. So, this is a self-inflicted wound by Trump. He's just hoping, excuse me, that he can get ahead of this problem. I don't think he can. I think he's done too much damage to himself. But, now he's pretending, oh, yeah, I want all this information released. He could have done that 8 months ago. He didn't. And you got Pam Bondi lying. You got Kash Patel lying. You got Dan Bongino lying. Oh, nothing to see here. There's nothing in these files. Really? Then why did J.P. Morgan pay out almost $10 billion to keep all this quiet? Huh? They didn't have anything else to do with the $10 billion? I can give it to my son, or we give it back to the U.S. government. Come on.
Larry, because if we had a Democrat in Washington and today we didn't have any information on those two people who tried to assassinate Donald Trump, and we would left and right firing at them and saying what's going on in Washington, why we don't have any sort of information on those people who tried to assassinate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Today we have Donald Trump in office in Washington, and he has released nothing in that direction, in that sense, in that case, for that case. And what is going on, and why they don't release the information they have on those two people that tried to assassinate Donald Trump? What is going on with Kash Patel, for example?
What's wrong with you? Are you suggesting that there was an attempt to kill Donald Trump? Are you a conspiracy theorist? Oh my God, man. Yeah. The cover-up of Thomas Crooks, as Tucker Carlson did an excellent show on it, laid out the evidence. And then this clown that tried to shoot him at the golf course, who had direct ties to Ukraine. Again, nothing to see here, folks. Move along. There's nothing to see here. Trump's a weak president. Instead of him coming and saying, okay, by God, we're going to find out what's going to happen. I want the information, demanding that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel get the information on his desk and explain it to him. Nah, they're just sort of like, assassination attempt, man, no big deal. It just nicked him. It wasn't a real attempt. This is, again, Trump created a base, MAGA, America First, where he promised to clear up the deep swamp. Instead, he is providing protection for the deep swamp. And it's shameful. And most of the Americans, at least under the age of 40, they're going, yeah, this smells like male bovine excrement, as Ray McGovern will say. A polite way of calling the offal from the male cows what it is. And Donald Trump's going along with it. He is discrediting himself by the day. Now, the potential saving grace is his sons, Don Jr. and Eric, are going to come and say, hey, Dad, man, you're blowing it, dude. You are losing an entire segment of, you're losing 30 to 40% of your base. You got to turn this around. He's got time. He does have time to turn it around. But frankly, I think he is too bought and paid for by the Zionist lobby that he won't do it.
But he's not going to do anything. I don't see that he's going to be, and we're not going to learn anything about the Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk's case, and it doesn't seem that the administration is interested in providing anything to us.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Move along. We got it all solved. This is all one great. We solved it. This is transgender violence. I guarantee you, Tyler Robinson had nothing. He did not pull the trigger. I don't know if he was involved. I don't know if he was roped in to, play a role in this whole drama. But he didn't press that trigger and kill Charlie Kirk. The round that killed Charlie Kirk was from some other rifle than a 30-06. And most of the American people recognize that this is again another of these male bovine excrement stories. Not true. Designed to confuse, mislead, and obfuscate. But that event on September 10th, I think, really marked the day that the support for Donald Trump started dying, because he is protecting Israel at all costs. He is not protecting America as the number one priority. He has been silent about the murder of Charlie Kirk. And when there's clear evidence that people other than Tyler Robinson appear to have been involved with the murder of Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump isn't insisting that they get to the bottom of this. He said, hey, move along. Nothing to see here. Disgraceful.
Larry, you're in Russia. How do they feel about Donald Trump and his administration? We had Marco Rubio last week coming out saying, and the sanctions are not working. We don't know what else do we have to put pressure to just sanction it and put pressure on Russia? Today or yesterday, Donald Trump came out saying that here is what he said.
I hear they're doing that, and that's okay with me. They're passing legislation, or the Republicans are putting in legislation that very tough. It's sanctioning, et cetera, on any country doing business with Russia. They may add Iran to that, as you know. I suggested it. So any country that does business with Russia will be very severely sanctioned. We may add Iran to the formula,
Yeah.
Now I'll spell it out. Give me an M. Give me an O. Give me an R. Give me an O. Give me an N. What does that spell? Moron. Donald Trump, you are a moron. The United States has zero leverage over Russia. Russia doesn't need a damn thing from the United States or Europe in terms of imports. They don't need one damn thing. However, the United States and Europe, they actually need things from Russia. So go ahead and sanction Russia. Russia does not care because they recognize they grow everything, they produce everything that they need to survive as an economy. They're going to continue to deal with China, with Iran, with the global South. If the West wants to participate, fine. If the West wants to sanction them, they could, I could say some more graphic, crude things, but I'll just keep it clean for the sake of the family audience out there. The Russians don't care. The United States is irrelevant. It's sort of like a guy who's impotent, can no longer actually function sexually, telling his former girlfriend, I'm not going to have sex with you anymore. And she's going, yeah? What else is new? That's Russia with the West. Okay? The United States is impotent, flaccid, to put a little more graphic imagery into it, with respect to Russia. So, yeah, go ahead. Apply your sanctions. Russia does not care. Russia is protecting itself against an attack by the West, an attack to try to destroy Russia. And Russia's fighting back and will continue to fight back. And until people like this idiot, Scott Bessent, good God, Secretary of Treasury, he thinks, oh, we can impose sanctions on Russia that's going to cause Russia economy to collapse and the Russians are going to plead for help. No, they're not, Scott. You need to do some research, dude. Russia is fully capable of defending itself. I mean, it's just, it can't get any clearer than that. I've heard that from so many different parts of people in Russia, not all in the same political party, but you know, they understand one thing. They're strong, we're weak, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it to pressure them to surrender.
Larry, before wrapping up, do you think that NATO is preparing? I'm talking about NATO, not the United States. Europeans are preparing themselves to war with Russia in 2029. It seems that Germans are talking about it. The new contract, the new agreement between the government in France and the Zelensky administration providing drones, and it's all about 2 to 3 years, I don't know, of providing Ukraine with weapons and maybe a conflict between NATO and Russia.
So did you see that video I posted at sonar21.com a couple of days ago? The big Great Dane on one side of the patio, the sliding glass door, and the Chihuahua on the other side. And the Chihuahua is initially going, ruh, 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 ruh. And then the owner opens the door, and the Chihuahua goes, ruh, ruh, ruh. That's Europe, okay? Russia's the big Great Dane. Europe is a Chihuahua that can't bark. That's the reality. And they better wrap their minds around it. Let's just sit back and look at the weaponry. Russia has the Oreshnik missile, an intermediate range ballistic missile. Europe doesn't have anything comparable to that. Russia has 4 hypersonic missiles. Europe, nothing compared. Russia is building more 152 millimeter artillery shells than NATO and the United States can build in a year. Nothing. There's not a single area, and I haven't even talked about the hypersonic missiles. There is not a single area with respect to weapons and capability that the United States and NATO are superior over Russia. Russia dominates the West on every single count. Wake the hell up, people. Stop, lying to yourselves that, oh, yeah, we got Russia over a barrel. Not even close.
No. Thank you so much, Larry, for being with us today. I know that you're going to leave us.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. Usually we go like an hour, Yeah. Hey, nice shirt today. I'm sorry, man. You're kicking my rear end of the shirt patrol. Styling big time.
Have a good time there, Larry. Great to talk to you.
Okay. Thanks so much. All right, Lima.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.